Last year, I spent over $50,000 on getting coached by Dan Martell. Some people think that I'm crazy, but to me, it was one of the best investments I've ever made in my life. And the things that Dan has taught me is 10 times, 100 times more valuable than any book could ever teach me. So I'm going to be sharing with you the top 5 lessons that I've learned from Dan in spending around close to 2 years now with him, and as well as meeting him in person in Manly, Australia. All right, let's get into it. Lesson number 1, whatever you think is great in life, that you think is awesome, well, there's always another level. You see, I realized firsthand that quite a lot of us as business owners, as we start to level up in our business, we start to gain more money, more clients, we get more profit, we start to upgrade areas in our life, right? If you started to fly coach, then you start to fly business class, and some of you who are watching might be flying first class. But Dan flies private, and he flies his team around with him, and he flies his family with him, and he creates masterminds around his trips. That blew off my cap of what's possible. So being around him, being close to him, learning from him on a weekly basis just allows me to have that type of energy, to vibrate in that same frequency, and just to see and witness of what's possible for all of us entrepreneurs, all of us business owners, and whatever. So the first key takeaway is that whatever you think is awesome in your life already right now, well, there's always another level. And man, that is just so fun. There's like a whole new level of drive, of fire that comes into your belly when you witness this thing in person and see it in real life. That's the first thing. What I wanted to mention as well is that when I started to see that there's a possibility for someone to be living in a life that, because I'm 38, right? Dan is 45, so he's around, let's say, close to 10 years my senior. I started to see that, oh wow, so if I'm here right now and in 10 years I can be like Dan, now that's a clear landmark. That's a clear milestone. That's a clear destination that I can work my way towards up. And I could start asking the questions like, what type of person do I have to become to be like Dan? What skills do I have to have? What systems would I have to have in place? What type of business would I have to be in to create that type of value, that revenue, to be able to fly private and make it easy? Now that's the power of getting in the right circle and having the right coach and mentor. The second thing that I learned from Dan is first principles thinking in action. You see, a couple years back, I got to hear about this first principles thinking from a couple of my friends in the startup world. And I really didn't understand, I knew what it was, but I didn't understand how to implement it into my business per se. And Dan actually showed us in real time of what that truly meant. You see, for someone who is in the business, being a coach or a speaker or education business, most of us would probably think that, okay, if you want to get into this business, you probably have to have a nice landing page, a nice VSL, a nice video sales letter. For those of you who don't know, you've got to have a sales call, and you probably have to do this before you actually launch your program or your product. Well, Dan showed us firsthand that all he needed to do was he just had to turn pro in content and just get really, really good with the content, and to make sure that all of his videos were speaking directly to the people that he wanted to attract. Hear me clearly, guys. All of the videos that he produced were all targeted towards the ideal type of person that he wanted to attract, not the type of content that he wanted to make. It's the opposite of what most of us would probably do. And through that process, he used chat with us on Instagram. He closed us through chat. No sales call, no fancy landing page, no link to book a call with his team. Even though he has a huge team with him, no team. And all he did was he has an offer that he wrote on his notes file, and he just copied and pasted that offer for us, to me, and it was either a yes or a no. He sent us a link on Stripe, and we pay for it, and then we got an onboarding email from his team, and we got in, and we were signed up to the coaching program. That's simple. So all we need to do is make great content, engage with your followers, close them by chat with your offer, if you have a coaching program, a service, whatnot, and then you onboard them with a Stripe link. That's it. No fancy landing page, no fancy sales call, no booking link. It was like, I was like, huh. And lo and behold, built a multi-million-dollar business out of this simple process. Now that is first principles thinking in action, and I got to witness it firsthand and see it in action as well, and got to be a part of it. So I realized that actually sometimes us as business owners, we tend to like to overcomplicate things, and just witnessing that and learning from him directly, it allowed me to rethink the way that we do business. I started to ask questions like, what can we actually remove from our company? What processes are there for that are there just to be there, simply because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever reason. But it's actually not serving the value towards the customer or making the company any better. And since I've joined his program, I've removed a lot of the processes. I've leaned down, slimmed down our team a lot. I've cleared up my expectations, and I've also had to audit my own self of what were the things that were cluttering up my time and my energy that has not allowed me to grow or be the best version of myself. And that's a second lesson that I got from Dan. First, principles, thinking in action. Lesson number 3 that I got from Dan. Proximity is power. You see, if you have a big dream for your life, you have a big vision of where you want to take your family or your company, and you're still surrounded by the same group of people that are not challenging you, that are not showing you what's possible of that upper level, of that higher level. It's possible, but it's going to be really difficult for you to really have that fire, that energy to push yourself up there. And through being close with Dan and through meeting him in person and seeing him and interacting with him for an almost full 2 days in Manly, Australia, I got to really see the type of person that he is, which honestly is the same person as you see on YouTube, on Instagram. It's the same person. He's super kind, super generous, super willing to share and serve. But of course, he knows that his time is most important. So of course, he's gonna prioritize his clients over just random strangers. But he's gonna stop and take a picture and whatnot. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that he's super kind. And the fact is that what I got from him is that I felt that his energy and his frequency and the reality that he created around himself, the fact that he flies around in a private jet, he flies with his family, he flies with his team. He's got an amazing team that records for him, takes content for him, captures all of the cool stuff that he talks about and shares in his lessons and in his teachings. And seeing that transition into the content that we see on YouTube, on Instagram. Now that is something that you can't really read from a textbook. It's only something that you can see. And that is why third thing that I got from him is the proximity that I absorbed from being with Dan and seeing it in action. And I have to say that this video, this channel would not have been possible if I wasn't with Dan. So you've got to thank Dan for inspiring me, to challenging me to get out of my comfort zone, to share my message in English more to the world and not keep to my safe zone in Thailand. All right, that's lesson number 3. Lesson number 4, clarity creates and vagueness destroys. I've witnessed Dan's life in the past, let's say close to 2 years. And honestly, I think he's one of the most productive person that I've ever met. The most productive business owner that I've ever met. He's super fit. He has time for his family. He has time for his team. He makes amazing content. He gets on podcasts. He speaks. He teaches. He comes on the coaching call full energy. Like, you know, he's just going about his daily life. And you wonder, like, how is he able to do all this? And this is what he teaches us in his coaching program as well, is that because Dan is so clear on the vision of what he wants to build for the rest of his life, and as well as a clear roadmap of what he has to do to get to that vision, that dream life that he's on his way to build, because he's super clear and he actually dwells on it multiple times a day. Like what he teaches us, the rule of the 300, which is 100% clarity, 100% belief, and 100% execution. So I witnessed him having that 100% belief and clarity of what he wants and executing flawlessly for the past close to 2 years. Whatever he has right now, with the cars that he buys, with the wealth that he's created, the opportunities that he's able to attract, it's a living testimony of someone who has clarity on what they want in life, build towards it, believe it every single day in, day out, and seeing it translate into something physical that all of us can witness. And for us business owners, most of us would probably think, okay, what am I going to build in 3 years from now, in 5 years from now? Well, what I found is that a lot of people don't even have their 1-year plan like really clarified. We don't even have to think about the 5 or the 10-year plan. Well, Dan doesn't plan in 5 years. He plans in 55 years. That's another level that I want to challenge all of you with. And he's super clear on what he's building towards as well. So imagine the level of execution, of precision and accuracy and belief that he has on a daily basis that I got to saw in real time in the short 2 days that I was with him in Manly. Yeah. So that's what I got from him. And that has challenged me to get even clearer on what I'm building and also enlarge my time horizon as a business owner to think bigger, longer, and as well as create clarity. And if it wasn't for that, the Porsche that I drive right now would have not had happened. That's lesson number 4 that I got from Dan. in being with him. Lesson number 5, you get what you expect for other people. Like I mentioned briefly, if you meet Dan in person, you will realize that he has a heart for people. And some of us business owners, especially those who probably got out from poverty and have taken us from a bad place into this better place through entrepreneurship, through business, it's easy for us to have that mentality of selfishness, right? Of like wanting more for ourselves, to want to try and protect what we've created. Because some of us, including myself, if I'm not careful, we have this scarcity mindset that, oh, that framework, that thing that I taught, if you're gonna go teach it somewhere else, you've got to give me credit. And if you mention my words, you've got to give me credit. And I've realized that being with Dan is that he doesn't have any glimpse of scarcity in him. He has this expansive, abundant mindset of creating, of unlimited creation, of that he will never run out of ideas to share. He will never run out of things to teach us, to teach his students, to teach his team. And when he functions like that, it translates into him being able to serve people out of a heart of service. And what's cool is that it turns into revenue. It turns into profit. It turns into opportunity and doors that open that us would probably dream of, right? I mean, who doesn't want to be a speaker on John Maxwell's stage, on Tony Robbins' stage, right? I mean, that's a dream come true for a lot of us business owners. Well, you can look at Dan and you can see him manifest it in person, in real time. No scarcity, no sense of give me credit here and there, because he believes that there is no lack of supply and opportunity for him. And he's a testament of that. And he actually emphasizes all the time in the coaching program that I want all of you to win, even more than you guys want to win. And I love that about him. So in conclusion, was it worth it investing $30,000, $50,000 with him in the past year, 2 years or so? Yes, freaking yes. And I would do it all over again. And you know what? My next goal is to be able to work my way towards flying to see him in person in Kelowna once again and meet him in person with his family and with his team. That's my next landmark for what I'm working towards and building towards. And I truly believe that every business owner needs to have someone like Dan in their life to challenge, to believe, and to want you to win more than even you win for yourself, because that's just priceless. Dan, if you're watching this, I just want to say I love you and I thank you for everything that you show us of what's possible, that we get to dream bigger, aim higher because of what you do for all of us. Thank you. And guys, thank you for watching. If you found value, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. Let me know in the comments if you have been watching Dan or are a fan of Dan. And if you want to get my personal feedback, if you are thinking about joining his program, for me, easy yes. Easy yes, anytime, man. And I'm not planning to leave his world anytime soon. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. God bless.